Hi, today we're going to be showing you how to install our multifunction universal pistol grip package that we offer. It is part number 315128. This is a 3-piece kit that gives you a 4-button controller handle. It gives you a 18-foot long loader harness. Basically it gives you a plug to mount on the boom, along with a harness to route back to your engine bay for your power and ground wire connections. From there, you'll have a final third piece that will plug in to that plug you'd mount on the boom, and this end will plug into your attachment. Today we're going to be showing you how to install this pistol grip package on this Kubota here. Any other machine out there is going to be very, very similar on how this kit would install. Typically you're going to start by finding a good spot to mount this 6-way plug on your boom. You want it to where it's out of the way from your hand grip here. Just a good spot to where it's easy to get to and easy to access. We're going to be using these 2 existing holes that mount this coupler set to this bracket. This kit here does include 4 holes already pre-drilled, but you can drill as needed into this bracket to use existing holes. If not, you can, if needed, drill the necessary holes into your bracket to mount this plug. Once you have your plug and bracket installed where you'd like it, you're going to begin by taking your 18-foot long harness, and you're going to want to route this up your loader boom back to the back pivot point. And typically what you'll do is you will attach the harness to your existing tube lines all the way up the loader arm with just zip ties. Okay, so once you start routing this harness up the loader arm, you want to make sure that it is secured tightly to all parts of the line as it goes up the boom. You don't want any loose sections that could possibly get caught in something or get torn off. Continue to route this up your loader arm. Make sure that you come all the way back to the main pivot point here, because as you raise your loader arms up and down, you want to make sure that this does not get pulled on. So you want to get as far back as possible, just like these lines follow back here. We're going to go right with these lines back into the engine bay to hook those power and ground wires up to the battery directly. All right, now an alternative to routing this harness up your loader arm for more of a permanent installation would be if you choose to remove this kit on and off, maybe season to season. What you can do is I would still mount your plug as a plug point here, but I would, instead of routing it up the loader arm, you can route it directly into the cab here and mount your pistol grip in the desired location instead of routing it all the way up the loader arm. That is the correct way to do it. It's more of an OEM permanent installation, but if you choose to remove this kit on and off, for different machines, you can definitely mount this plug and go directly into your cab from there. Okay, so once you get your harness routed back down up your loader arm, down into your engine bay, you're going to locate your battery. Now in this Kubota, it's on the back right-hand corner of the loader. What you may run across on some machines is that the power and ground wires you may have to extend depending on where your battery is located. This machine here, we do have enough length there. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by installing the red colored wire, which is the power wire, and it is fused for 10 amps, so the circuit is protected. You're going to attach that to the power side of the battery, and the ground wire, the black labeled wire, will go to the ground side of the battery. Okay, so once you get that part of the installation complete, the harness is routed up the loader arm, connected back in your battery in the engine bay. Now you need to focus on getting the pistol grip and harness into the cab section itself. Now, the best and more permanent way to do this is to actually go up through a grommet existing in the bottom side of your cab. On this machine here, there is 2 bolts that secure the cab down to the frame, and then there's a lock pin at the rear section. So we're going to remove that lock pin, and we're going to lift this cab up to ease the installation to get that pistol grip harness into the cab itself. Okay, so once you get the cab raised, you're going to find an existing grommet location where all your hydraulic lines up to your joystick controls, all your harnesses come up through. You typically should not have to drill a new hole to run this harness through, but if you have to, just find a good location. Make sure there's nothing on the other side, of course, but just find another good location where you can install a grommet and run this harness through. The plug is about 1.25 inches wide and about 1/2 inch thick, so it is a decently sized plug that you do have to get through a grommet location. Okay, so once you get this end of the plug end in your cab, what you're going to do is you're going to find a good location to mount your pistol grip. Now, this does come with a 90-degree bracket that you can attach to wherever you'd like. Some older skid steers where they're not a sealed cab, you can actually attach it right to the caging of your cab. Otherwise, if you have a joystick that you can attach this bracket to, you can actually attach it with a U-bolt clamp style or a hose clamp to attach that to your joystick. Otherwise, you can find an existing bolt location that you can use in your cab. On this machine here, we are actually going to use the front left bracket here. There's a nice heavy tab that comes out of the cab frame here, and we're going to use this bolt here to secure that, just like this. It's in a nice location where you can easily access it, sitting normally in your seat, and you still have your primary hand on your movement controls. Okay, so here's what it looks like installed. As you can see, it's in a good location where you can easily access it, but like I was saying earlier, you can easily install this anywhere in your cab, whether you just want it sitting here or you want it attached to something. It's just as long as it's in a secure location where you can easily access the controls. Okay, so the last part of the installation is going to be the attachment control harness itself. You have a male 6-pin plug here, and you have the 6-pin female that you had mounted on the boom earlier. You're going to plug this in, and typically what you'll do is you'll route this down with the hydraulic hoses from your attachment. Just zip tie it down until you get to the attachment itself, and you have 4 pigtails. Now, this will run any of our attachments with 2 functions. So this will run our snowblower, stump grinder, any of the 2-function 4-direction attachments. Obviously, the other attachments that would only have 1 or 2 plugs, you would just use that quantity of plugs needed. You can use any of these 4 plugs. It would just change which button on your pistol grip you would use in relation to what plug you hook up. Now, if you're choosing to install this kit, more of a temporary installation, you're just going to be putting this through the cab, or a shorter method of getting it into your cab. You're going to need to still get power to your pistol grip handle itself. Now, this is made typically to go to a battery, but you can find a good ground source in your cab and also go to your fuse box and find a good switched 12-volt power source. That would work. Otherwise, what you could do is get a power accessory plug, like a cigarette lighter plug, and put that under the end of these power and ground wires and plug it in right to an accessory port, and that would work as well. I would prefer the fuse box and a good ground source. It's more of a reliable connection, but you can install a power plug on the end of this as well, and that will work. Okay, hopefully this helped you today with installation of this kit. Like I had said earlier, this is going to be very similar from machine to machine. This kit is also made to go on any machine that does not have factory joysticks, whether it be a telehandler, tractor, whatever it may be. The idea and concept with the installation is still the same. You need to get to the battery or a power source for power to the grip. You need to get the attachment harness on the end of the boom and get the long harness routed up the frame of the machine and into the cab. Once you get that done, it will work for pretty much any attachment in any machine.